Well, good evening. Good evening. It's so nice to see y'all today. It's evening here. It's getting later. It's about 6. And anyway, this is welcome to Tiny Learners Homeschool Boot Camp. So, what we're covering this week is the basics. This will actually probably go on YouTube. I know I got kind of crazy. My mind, I didn't have my notes this morning and I couldn't remember what I was doing with this. The Tiny Learners Bootcamp will only be in the Facebook group for 1 week, and then it will be on YouTube. On YouTube, you'll be able to find it. And what the fun thing is, it doesn't end this week because I'm behind with lesson planning for my 5-year-old. I will include some more stuff during the month, but it'll just be here this week. It'll be in, but I'll post the YouTube link many, many times. And so it'll be loaded over there and you can share with friends and you can refer back to it and you can ask questions there too. So it'll be kind of fun. Let's see. Hey, Charlotte. Anyway, so tonight we're basically going to talk a little bit about what you need to know before you begin. But I think I want to start out with introducing me. I got this morning, it was kind of crazy. We had ants and it was just a crazy morning. So I want to talk a little bit about me and who I am for those who don't know me and just start there. So, anyway, so welcome. Look, I even made a look. Welcome to Tiny Learners Homeschool Boot Camp. This is the most fun ever. This is my favorite age. I've homeschooled. My name's Devin. For those who don't know me, I've homeschooled for 17 years. I started homeschooling my 2-year-old. He's now in college. So I've been around a long time. I am kind of, I guess you could say, a bossy mama in locally. And now I have professional home educators, which is nationwide. And we have a lot of fun. So anyway, I started with Cole at 2, and we decided to homeschool because I had just graduated from university, and I had a 2-year-old and a 6-month-old. And when I looked at daycare prices, it was like astronomical, and I knew that I would not be able to make enough to make it sustainable for me to put them in daycare and work at that time. So we decided, my husband and I decided that we would do daycare at home and I would stay home with the kids. And so I had known homeschoolers, so I decided I was going to homeschool preschool. I mean, that sounded fun. And then when kindergarten came around, I was going to put him in kindergarten. Well, it never happened. We just continued. And so now I'm a mom of 5. My oldest is 19 and he's in college. I have a senior, I have a freshman, I have a 7th grader, and a kindergartner. So my kindergartner's a surprise, and she's so much fun. And I have really enjoyed being back where I was to begin with. So anyway, so welcome to Tiny Learners Homeschool Bootcamp. Again, if you're just getting here, we're going to be in the Facebook group this week, and then it will all go on YouTube on the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to find there. And what's fun is I'm going to do more. This has been the craziest summer due to COVID, and I am behind. So I still have planning to do, and I'm just going to include y'all, and it'll just go on the YouTube channel, but I'll post the link later today. Let's see. I know it's this. I mean, really, this is my absolute favorite age. I love everything kindergarten, preschool, tot school, babies. I have 5. Obviously, I love babies. And my first 4 were all together. So I have been in the craziness of having lots of littles. And so I'm hoping that we'll probably this month I'll include that on the YouTube channel too. But there's some basics we're going to talk about tonight. This is probably going to be the least fun because we're going to talk a little bit about law. Now, with littles, there's not a lot of laws involved, but there are some things I want to point out to you so that later when they get up to kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, you know where to look for information. Now, some of y'all may be here because you have older ones and younger ones, but this is for especially the mamas who are just starting out, because when I started, I didn't know where to find the information. And at that time, we did not have the internet. We didn't have social media. I mean, this was 17 years ago. So I would email people and no one would answer my questions. I'm so not that mom. You email me or PM me, I'm going to answer your question. And if I don't know where it is, I'm going to show you where to go to find it. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about, so you know where to find these things when you need them. So our subject tonight is, what do you need to know before you begin? Well, that means we're going to talk a little bit about the law. Now, when I look for information on the law, now I'm in Alabama, but I'm not going to assume that you're in Alabama. So you can use what I show you. And if you're in my group right now, you can throw another state in here and we can look at that information too. But where I take you, you should be able to find information for your state too. So anyway, so my top favorite. Okay, number one, I am not a lawyer. I don't want to be a lawyer. If I speak with authority, it's only because I have been around a long time and I'm just telling you what I see. But I cannot, Alabama, I kind of have I'm comfortable. But outside of Alabama, I cannot really help you because I have not lived there. But I can, again, this is where I would send you. The reason I send you here is because it is an association of lawyers. The guy who started it was a homeschool dad. The lawyers I have met are either homeschool graduates or they're going to homeschool, or like the one that is attached to Alabama is not only a homeschool graduate, but he's planning to homeschool. So they're an awesome group. I have always found that their information is reasonable. Now, does that mean I always agree with everything they say? Probably not. But they have more, they've studied the law and I haven't. So I usually go here first. When I look at laws and I talk to people, you have to remember people in Facebook groups are not lawyers unless they say they're a lawyer. So they may be like me, they may be comfortable and they may have been around long enough to see how it works. But I always take it in a grain of salt because they're moms like us, and I'm not saying they don't know. I'm saying look for 2 or 3 resources that back them up and not the same resource like the same group. Like, I can say something and my friends in Alabama in my area can say something and we can all agree. But then there'll be a group over here that'll say something else and a group over here that says something else. Take several places and, whether it's this homeschool group, this is just the one that I will always refer to people to. That's my comfort level because I am not a lawyer. So anyway, I'm going to show you this website so you can look at it and you can remember their name. And I'll show you how it works a little bit because we're going to talk about, after I show you this, we're going to talk about whether your state's compulsory age. And that is really what you have to, 2 things that you have to pay attention to in your state. So let's go here. Okay. So here's Homeschool Legal Defense. Let me see, make sure that it pulled up because sometimes it gets glitchy. I'm going to back myself out so I'm not on the screen. Here's Homeschool Legal Defense. You can go into the legal and go to the state laws. If you'll see down, like homeschooling in my state, homeschooling state laws, talk to a lawyer. They had a plan that, okay, with your oldest child, before they were legally needed to be in school, you could have free membership. I don't know if they still have that, but you can check that out. So let's say your child does not have to be registered with the state until 6, and your child is under 6. You can actually, they were covering you until you reach 6. I don't know. That may not be as clear as mud, but So anyway, here is Alabama down here. This is where I am. And this is my stuff at a glance. So in Alabama, we have 3 options for homeschooling. School is required. This is the age you're looking for, 6. In Alabama, we do not have to be in school until 6. Notification required, yes. So here are all their things, and that's all their stuff. Now, this is the one, whether no matter what state you are, like here, Texas, let's see. Texas, 6. California, 6. I know there are a few states that are 7. Alabama used to be 7. So 7. Here's 7. Idaho. Washington, 8. I didn't know that. Wow. You can be 8 before you don't have to go to school to 8. Now, the catch is some states require kindergarten. That is your second thing. Let me make sure there's no questions going on. So some states may require kindergarten. Now, I'm going to step out of this for a minute. So we're talking about what your state's compulsory age is. So in Alabama, we're between 6 and 17. So children do not have to go to school until 6. That's the age you got to pay attention to. And then if you're in a different, Alabama does not require kindergarten. It is not legally required. So when you go to enroll them, usually they're going to send you into first grade. Now, that's going to really depend on the school and the school board. But legally, I mean, some of them might require that you test in. Not a big deal. When they test you in, it's not like a pass or fail test. It's like just seeing where they fit in the curriculum. Any curriculum you go to, is especially math and language arts, they're going to have some kind of placement test. That's all that test is. They're just trying to see where your child fits inside the curriculum. But they may not do that. So I have never put one in, so I can't really say that's what they do. Let me stop this. And I'm going to move over here just a minute. Let me see. And I'm going to screen share this other one. And we're going to look up which states have kindergarten required. It will take me just a minute. I shouldn't have unscreened that. Undid that. Let's see. Google.com. Don't y'all love Google? I love Google. So this is like probably the most boring but useful. I'm like, I don't mean to scare anybody. If I scare y'all, y'all tell me. Devin, stop scaring me. Which states require kindergarten? 17 states plus the District of Columbia require children to attend kindergarten, although the length of the day varies by states. 13 states require the district to offer full-day kindergarten. So let's see if we can find a list, just in case someone watches this later and they need a list. So let me make sure. I have to always check with make sure you're seeing what I'm seeing. Okay, so California does not. Connecticut does. Let's hear. There we go. We can pull this up. So here are kindergarten. Let's see. Alabama, no. See, they do not require. Alaska does. California does. So my suggestion is if you live in a state that requires kindergarten, I would suggest call Homeschool Legal Defense and see how they handle that. I am not experienced in anywhere but Alabama. So I can, it says it's not specified. So that says no. That's basically no. So anyway, here is a list. I will post this below. It says no, children are required to attend full-day kindergarten in Syracuse, New York City. So there's not everywhere, but there are some school districts here that require it. So that can be a catch too. I did not know school districts could change some of their things. So that is interesting to know. So those are two things to look at. So is kindergarten required? As we look at that, some states will require it. If you want to homeschool during this, then if you're homeschooling and you're able to do kindergarten, you just need to call Homeschool Legal Defense and ask how they handle that. And that's if you're planning to put them back in school. if you're not planning to put them back in a public or private school, this is not even going to matter. See, that's what I want you to see. This is only if you're planning to put them back in public school. And that's how I started. So that's why I talk about this. So let me stop that. Okay, so the only time you would worry about these is if you are planning to put them back in public school. If you're not planning to put them back in public school, it's not going to matter if it's kindergarten's required or not, because you're going to be doing kindergarten at home. I only give you this information. I don't want you freaked out over it. I only give it to you so that you can make a wise decision when you get to that age of compulsory. That is only, I mean, seriously, people, those are only going to matter if you put them back in school. That is something, then you will have to take that into effect and just find out. And the Homeschool Legal Defense, they're always happy to talk to and answer questions. So it is always good to have a plan. Now, my hope is that you will fall in love with homeschooling and stay like I did. I also know that may not be me. It's okay if you don't. You know, mamas are good. But that is my basic information on where to find information. You can ask questions in the comments if you have anything. So what did we learn? Where to find legal information if you need it. Where to find your age of compliance, which is very important, because when you hit that age is when you've got to register them with your state and with usually your zone school board, not your state, but your zone school board. And then if kindergarten is required and you're planning to put them back in public school, you need to know if it's required or not and what you need to do to work around that. It is not hard to work around. You just have to know the logistics of it. And you can find that in your Facebook groups. You can find that at Homeschool Legal Defense. In Alabama, kindergarten is not required, and you're not going to need it. You can just simply put them into first grade at 6, which is usually what happens with COVID. I'm never 100% sure if anything will go as planned. It's been a different year. So, Mom, it's always good to have a plan, and this is have knowledge is what is it? Knowledge is power. But let's see. Let me go back and get rid of this. There we are. So anyway, y'all drop notes in if there's anything I need to answer. If there's anything you want to cover this month, let me know, and I will put that on the list. Tomorrow we're going to talk about curriculum. We're going to talk about before curriculum, we're going to talk about what do you need to cover and where to find the information on what you need to cover for preschool, kindergarten, all the ages in between. We're going to talk about teaching styles. We're going to talk about learning styles. We're going to talk about all those things. So if you have questions, let me know ahead of time, and in the comments, then I can make sure I add in those. On Thursday, I believe we're going to talk about phonics, because that's one question I get asked a lot, and we're going to talk about phonics. And what is on Friday? I forgot completely what Friday was. That's what happens when y'all need to just know I'm not perfect. Where's the fun? We're going to talk about creative fun. That's what it is. And then at that point, I will add, as I'm planning Lacey's stuff, I will add stuff to the YouTube channel. Y'all knew that. Let's see. If kindergarten isn't required, do we need to register them with a school board if we will be sending them to public school first grade? No, you don't absolutely have to enroll them with a school. Now, it's really a comfort zone. I've had some people this year want to register. Let's see, if he's going to be 5 in October this year, oh no, don't register him at all. Do it next year. You don't have to register him at all. You will register him, like if you're going to school next year, they're probably going to put him in, they're going to put him in for, let's see, if he's 4 and he's going to be 5 in October, they're going to put him in kindergarten next year. If you're sending him to first grade, it would be the year after that. Hey, Jessica. So kindergarten isn't required in Alabama. You don't need to register them to the school in with the school board until they turn 6. It is usually this fall, like September, before they turn 6 is usually what I suggest. Although I have had some people wait and process the paperwork as soon as they turn 6. It's really kind of lenient. So it's like if he's turning 6 in October next year, you could process it that week and then just register him with the school board the year after. At that point, they'll probably put him in first grade. So yeah, I know that's as clear as mud. That's probably if you call me one day or you jump on my personal website and schedule something, PM me and we'll talk in person because I know that is as clear as mud. But if he's 5 in this October, they would not even put him in kindergarten this year. It would be next year they would start kindergarten. But if you're doing kindergarten this year, they're not going to put him in first grade next year. They're probably going to try to put him in kindergarten along with everybody else in his age group. Because they would not have, because he didn't make the cutoff. Does that make sense? He didn't make the cutoff for kindergarten this year. He would be an older kindergarten, which is good. If you're going to put him in preschool, in public school, I would rather them be older than younger. They're just more ready for it. But anyway, so that's, yes, I know. Sometimes I'm as clear as mud. So I probably usually need to take 5 minutes to say, let me think about this 5 minutes and then answer the question. So if he's 5 this year, he would not have made the kindergarten cutoff. So he would have been put in kindergarten next year in 2021, September. So if you send him next year, like 2021, they're going to put him in kindergarten probably. I mean, they might. You might say, hey, test him. He did kindergarten last year, but they're probably just going to look at you like you grew a head and put him in kindergarten. So, which is not a bad thing. I mean, even if you've covered the information already, that's not a bad thing because then he's going to be strong and be ahead of everybody in the class. I mean, that's just what that's about the best I can say. Yes, ma'am. They're talking to me. They've looked twice at me. I don't know what's going on that they have to look at me. They looked twice. People, this is a working home. Like this morning, I told y'all about the ants taking over my couch and my bed, and why, I don't know. Now I have the teens, and they keep looking at me. I don't know what they want. But yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, I think so. So, my son Cole, I started kindergarten at 4.5, and it was really a good thing because it took him longer to do kindergarten. He wasn't quite ready yet, but it was still a very good fit for him. And then I have my Juliana, who is like 2 years ahead of most of her kids and could have graduated last year or the year before, even the year before. But we decided not a year before. She could have graduated in 2019 is what I mean, but we didn't. She could have graduated in 2020, but we didn't. She just wasn't ready. School-wise, she's done. She's done everything but finishing pre-cal. That's all she's got really right now. So I'm like inventing things for her. So each kid is different. I'm still thinking about, is there a way to enroll him in kindergarten next year instead of the next year? But I don't know. They usually, when you enroll them at 6, they're just using his birth date as the marker, and they'll just put him in kindergarten is probably what would happen. So yeah, at least that's what I've seen, what I know. I hadn't done it myself. But anyway, okay. I will see y'all tomorrow night. We're going to talk about curriculum, and then the next night we'll talk about phonics, which is so much fun. Y'all want me to tell y'all? I'll tell you my story then, but I'll tell you my story now. When I found out I was pregnant with Alicia, let's see, being a boy, it may be better that he's older, but he flies through everything he learns, so I don't want him to be bored. So he legally has to be 6 to go in. Yeah, he'll have to be at that cutoff age to go. Um, I mean, you could call and ask them, but probably they're going to go off his age because that's what they use with everybody, and that's what they're going to do. Now they might jiggle it around once he gets there, or put him in bright and in the for bright and gifted. But I would just let him fly through everything, let him learn, and do some rabbit holes. I mean, if you want to slow him down at all, do some rabbit holes. Let him learn things that he wants to learn. Like if he's interested in ants, he can come to my house. Ants, I mean, just dive into ants. Do what he's doing for kindergarten and what he needs to know, but you can find other things to go with it. I'm like, there is a math curriculum called Wild Math curriculum, because it's curriculum. And you could add that as extra math because there's a lot of outside time, and boys need to go. They need to be busy. Add some activities for phonics in there. I mean, you could add some stuff in there and might slow him down. He's still learning, but it might fill up his desire to learn. That's kind of what I had with Juliana. She was just busy girl, and just learning everything. She was like on track with her brother almost the whole time, and my boy was just so busy he was not on track. He was a challenge. But he still got to college. Okay, he's there. It's his second week, and I'm surviving. But anyway, so yeah, that's what I think will happen. I mean, I can't guarantee it because they could always shock me. But what I think is he'll have to be 6 to be in first grade. So I would just let him learn everything he wants to and follow some rabbit holes. I mean, do your math, do your phonics, and follow some rabbit holes and let him learn anything and everything he wants to. So anyway, I will see y'all tomorrow morning. We have coffee with Devin at 10 if you're able to come. And then we'll be back here at 6 for our next session. And I had a great time. I love when y'all chat. When y'all don't talk to me, I don't know what to say. It's like I get fast. I get talking and I get excited. I get talking, I get nervous, and I start going too fast, and then I'm done in 15 minutes. Now I've done 30, and that's what I wanted. So anyway, I will see y'all tomorrow night. Bye, guys.